Hi, breathing is an automatic function in our body that controls the respiratory center of the brain. When we feel stress, our breathing rate and pattern changes as part of fight and fight or flight response. Hi, welcome to Stressed Out Stress Free. If you haven't met yet, my name is Peng. My name is Vincent Moon, where I help people like you stay stress-free by changing one habit at a time. Today's topic is gonna be types of breathing. Sometimes we take breathing for granted, and we just we breathe, right? You don't know there are many types of breathing too, and we're gonna show you the types of breathing. Okay. All right. Fortunately, we also have the power to deliberately change our own breathing. Scientific studies have shown that we control your breathing it's shown that you controlling your breathing can help you manage stress and related stress condition. Okay. Breath control is also used in practices such as yoga, tai chi, and some forms of meditation too. Many people use breathing that help promote relaxation and reduce stress. If you practice breathing? What do you do? How do I put it? What do you do what do you do breathing for? Okay, that's what I want to say. All right, what do you do breathing for, right? Breathing for. So let's look at the one second here. Let me just go. Let's look at the types of breathing, right? Basically, types of breathing. We're going to touch on one second. You got to look at types of breathing, right? First of all, we're going to look at the Oops, why is it not moving? First of all, look at the breathing mechanics. What is breathing mechanics? So we know that breathing, breathe into the nose and blah 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 blah, right? Okay, breathing mechanics. Breathing is also called ventilation. Has two phases. One is inspiration and expiration. So you breathe in and breathe out, right? When you inspire, your diaphragm, which is the muscle underneath your intercostal, this is the muscle underneath your lungs, okay, in the base of the lung. And when you inspire, the diaphragm and the external intercostal muscles contract, okay, contract. Then that makes the volume of the chest increase. So when you breathe in, the volume of the chest increase, right? Then the external intercostal, outside muscle of the ribs up, they push the ribs up and out. Okay, so that's why you feel the expansion on the chest, on the rib, right? Which makes the chest cavity bigger, right? When you breathe in, yep. And this increases the pressure that makes the air flow into the lungs, okay? And air always flow from the area with high pressure to the low pressure. So it goes through the nose, the throat, the larynx, and then the trachea into your lungs, right? When you expire or when you exhale, the diaphragm and external intercostal muscle relaxes, and this makes the volume of the chest go back down to normal. So that is the breathing mechanics. All right, let's look into the next one, which is the respiratory mechanics. What is respiratory mechanics, right? You may ask. Okay, so respiratory mechanics is breathing in. When we're breathing in, air goes in through the part of the lungs where it gets the oxygen, right? And this is called the conducting zone. Can't pronounce today. Anyways, all right, the external respiration happens in here, all right, in the conducting zone. So this is when the lungs get the oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, all right. The blood then goes through the lung and through the pulmonary arteries, okay. Then it goes up to different part of the lungs through the aerolas, okay. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are exchanged in the tiny blood vessels that's called alveoli. Okay, all right. After that, the oxygenated blood goes back to the heart, and then through the pulmonary vein, and then the heart then pumps the blood throughout the body and through the systematic arteries. All right. Okay, so we already look at the breathing mechanics. We saw the respiration mechanics. Let's look at the types of breathing. Today we're going to talk about 4 types of breathing. Okay, let's see. Number 1 is the diaphragmatic breathing. I think pretty much most of us know what diaphragmatic breathing is, right? Basically, diaphragm is a large muscle that sits at the base of your lungs. Your lungs is here, right? So this is the base. Can you see? Yeah, the base of the lungs, all right? And when a person inhales, the diaphragm contracts and moves downwards, okay? And then creating a space for the lung to expand with and fill with air. And then a person exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards and helps move all the air out of the lungs. Diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing is called, involve fully engaging the stomach, the abdominal muscle, and the diaphragm when breathing. Okay, this means that activity pulling the diaphragm down with each inward breath. In this way, the diaphragmatic breathing helps the lungs to fill up more efficiently. Breathing is natural process and usually occurs without us consciously, without conscious effort, right? We don't think about it. We just breathe, right? However, the average breath tends to be really shallow. If you stop and think a little bit, what do you think? Are you breathing now, right? But is it just shallow, just but you don't do any deep breathing, right? So, however, the average breath tends to be really shallow, right? And does not engage the diaphragm very much at all. It's just like this. If you're breathing now, probably the air just goes a little bit, touch the diaphragm, and then you'll see your chest come up or your stomach expand, right? So during diaphragmatic breathing, a person consciously engages the diaphragm in order to take the deeper breath. So basically, these are diaphragmatic breathing is conscious. You know that you are doing it. It's not unconsciously. So okay, all right. So they will also feel that expanding and stretching the sensation in the stomach rather than solely in the chest and shoulder. So instead of you fill up the chest, but then you still feel in the stomach too. Okay, all right. The advantages of diaphragmatic or abdominal breathing is, it completely allows the flow of the oxygen to to our body and allowing the body to function properly, and the heart rate goes down as those, and thus the blood pressure. So if you breathe, if you do a diaphragmatic breathing or abdominal breathing, it helps move the blood and oxygen throughout the whole body, so which calms you down and also brings down your blood pressure, right? So that's why sometimes most people say if you're really stressed and you are rush or you're being pressured, just stop and take a few deep breaths. So that's to help calm you down and also push the blood pressure down, right? All right, disadvantages of deep breathing. There's technically no disadvantage other than, since many people don't have this automated, nowadays everything is automated, everything is shortcut, right? So no, but yeah, you have, because it's not automatic, that's the only disadvantage, It's not like regular breathing. You just, okay, I'm breathing, but this one you have to make an effort to do it. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next one, which is clavicular respiration or clavicular breathing, or you can call it slow breathing too, a type of slow breathing. So clavicle is here, your pelvic bone. Okay, they're kind of like the collarbone. Okay, it's called slow breathing. What a type of slow breathing. So the rib cage does not allow the lung to expand. So basically, the breathing is up here. If you do this, you feel the clavicle bones here moving, right? Yeah. So does not allow the lungs to expand as much as they would in the deep breathing. Okay. So how do you know if you normally used to this type of breathing? So place one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen and breathe normally. Feel it? Which of these two hands rises? Is the upper one? If the upper one rises, your breath is in. You're using your clavicular breathing. Okay. If the lower one is the abdominal, that means there are people which both hands rises. This means that the breathing is quite deep and could be adequate. So usually when you do that, you just breathe. You probably feel just the clavicular rise up, right? So this type of breathing is inefficient because the greatest amount of blood to collect oxygen occurs in the lower area of the lungs. Now, and which implies that you are getting little oxygen. So this is okay, but it's not good. Yeah, this rapid and shallow breathing results in poor transmission of oxygen and blood, and therefore little nutrition to the tissue. So clavicular breathing is not that great. Yeah, that's why they say you have to constantly stop and breathe, and then that helps you bring more oxygen to the body, right? So advantages of clavicular breathing is it provides the body oxygen quickly, but and it can be useful when you have to run to catch a bus. So like basically you're in the fight what do you call that? I forgot. You're in the fight or flight stage, right? So basically the fighting stage, like you're running to catch the bus, right? Okay, all right. So disadvantage is excuse me, oxygen supply is not enough, and maintaining over time increases stress because makes our brain and our body, not functioning properly. Okay, all right. Let's look at the next one. We did the clavicular already. We're going to the thoracic respiration. Thoracic respiration is pretty short. So basically, not thoracic part, right? Thoracic respiration, the thoracic area. All right. Basically, in thoracic area, the muscle of the intercostal intervenes, and with it, the rib cage. Usually, this type of breathing is done to make us aware of this part of the body. It's not used independently, but rather used as an additional to do a complete breathing. Okay, so basically, it's part of the breathing. It's not a breathing by itself. It's called thoracic respiration. Okay, all right. Let's move to the next one. I think last but not least one. All right. So it's thoracic. Oops, not this one. Complete breathing. Excuse me. Complete breathing. What is complete breathing? Complete breathing is deep or complete. Requires the air entering your nostril to fill up the different areas of your lungs. When you breathe deeply, your abdomen or your belly and your diaphragm rises, and your chest too. So when you breathe in, your belly or your abdomen and your diaphragm rises up, and your chest rises up too. In the following section, we're going to describe the detail, but not this section. Okay, all right. So that's Monday night. All right, and so basically that's complete breathing. So make sure you deep breath, abdomen and belly comes, abdomen, belly, chest rises up, and and that's deep breathing. Okay, what are the advantages of complete breathing? Maybe you want to put in chat. Let me know. What do you think? With the complete breathing, what does that do? Right? Complete breathing also is pretty similar to the diaphragmatic breathing, or also called the deep breathing, right? Deep and normal abdominal breathing, right? So, what are the advantages though of this complete breathing? Well, this technique provides the body the superior stage of calm and relaxation. Think about it. When you do a complete breathing, you want to breathe deeply into your abdomen, which is your belly. Your belly rises up, and then your chest and your diaphragm rises. The diaphragm rises, and your chest open up. Right. So it's pretty complete, right? So it helps. It's called the superior state of calm and relaxation. Okay, our body receives a large amount of supply of oxygen and reducing our heart rate. So the heart, when there's a lot of oxygen, the heart rate goes slower, and then blood pressure and the blood cortisol levels, which increase anxiety symptom when it's high. Okay, so just help reduce all this sudden pressure in your body, and because caused by anxiety. So that's the one of the advantages of it. Yeah. So what are the disadvantages of complete breathing? While deep breathing can be automatic, complete breathing, while can be automatically, complete breathing can, since it is somewhat more complicated to perform. And if we are not used to it, this is part of the breathing exercise that we're going to be doing. So, all right. So that's all I have here. So just want to go through. We talk about today. Let's go to number one. We talk about the types of breathing, and then we went through the breathing mechanics, and also we talk about respiration mechanics, how the when you inhale, how the air go in, oxygen, and how it's processed. Okay, and then we talk about types of breathing. We talk about 4 types. One is diaphragmatic breathing, and also the next one was clavicular respiration, which is clavicular breathing too, and also thoracic respiration, thoracic breathing, and complete breathing. So we went through this, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the chat below. Okay. All right. Don't be shy. Say hi in the chat and ask questions. Okay. And don't forget to show us give us a thumbs up, and show that you support the you support us, and appreciate your time being here. All right. Okay. I want to thank you very much for watching. Oops, not that one. Why is this popping up? Oh, 1 second. We just okay. All right. Thank you very much for watching. And you want to support us, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com/Vincent Woon. And also you can support us at, or you can go check out our merchandise at Press and Sew Stress Out, Stress Free to check out our merchandise. And I'm going to put the link up here for both of the buymeacoffee.com/Vincent up here, and also the t-shirts link up here. Here. So make it easier for you when you click it, and you can just go right into the link. Or if you don't see it there, you can just go down to the description below, and I have all the link down there. Okay? All right. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. All right. You can always contact me at Stress Out Stress Free in Facebook, Stress Out Stress Free in Instagram, and Vincent Woon at Twitter, or Vincent Woon and LinkedIn. And also, don't forget to check out these videos when it pops out. Okay? Alright. And I see you in the next video. That's tomorrow night, Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the Q&A. And if you have any questions, please come and join us as a live. Or if you cannot make it, just put in the chat and I'll be answering your question. Alright.